Would say early in the fight, Canelo, and earlier in his career, Canelo, but he hasn't been that kind of fighter in recent years.
It's going to be interesting, I'll tell you that.
What do you think?
I don't know. You know, it's a big jump to go from 54, which was a step up from 47, right?
Now
so it
he's
goes to
going to
54, and now he's going to
68?
68. That's so much weight.
A lot of weight.
Do you think Terrence Crawford can beat Canelo Alvarez?
Yeah, I think he can win.
Okay.
I don't know if he's going to win, but I think he can win.
Max Kellerman joining Joe Rogan to discuss the upcoming super fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terrence "Bud" Crawford has set the boxing world on fire, especially after Kellerman dropped a shocking prediction that left Rogan and fans stunned.
Definitely. Okay, so then a little bit of this and that between Canelo and Crawford. I'll give you a list of attributes, and then tell me who do you feel is best in that attribute. First attribute, best jab.
Crawford.
Best defense.
Crawford. Nowadays, Crawford. I would say early in the fight, Canelo, and earlier in his career, Canelo, but he hasn't been that kind of fighter in recent years. Although Crawford is also hittable. With any fighter, when you talk about their defense, the question is not, can they be hit with a shot? You take punches. Everyone, the greatest defensive fighters ever get hit. Pernell Whitaker, Willie Pep, Floyd Mayweather, they all get hit. The question is, can you hit them with combinations? And both guys are hard to hit. With the two-piece, hard to hit.
So who has the best footwork out of the two?
In terms of cutting off the ring, last fight notwithstanding, Canelo has gotten much better at cutting off the ring. But, you know, early in his career, he had a problem with that and was much more comfortable counterpunching. But overall, I have to say Crawford. If you go down the list and ask me about tactical advantages, most of them are Crawford. What Canelo has is size, and as a result, physical strength and punching power. Canelo also has a great chin. But in terms of, if you want to go skill for skill, especially the recent version of Canelo, who's had to turn into a seek and destroy guy, who had to learn as his career went on to cut off the ring and not just follow guys around. Like Lara, Trout, Floyd, he followed those guys around. He had trouble because he's really a natural counterpuncher who wants you to come to him. But in recent years at super middleweight, he's gotten really good at cutting off the ring. Again, last fight notwithstanding. So as an overall suite of skills, recent vintage, it's been Crawford. Okay. But Canelo also is skilled and has a larger skeleton than Crawford. No matter what they weigh, Canelo's the bigger guay.
Yeah. You briefly mentioned Canelo's power, so who I would assume Canelo has the
You'd have to think, unless Crawford, Crawford was on a knockout streak until he moved up to junior middleweight and then failed to stop Madrimov. So, and Canelo, though he has not stopped anyone in a while, we've seen he's a real puncher at 68.
As far as speed, who has a better speed?
You would imagine Crawford, given the fact that he is the naturally smaller fighter, and I would assume he could maintain that advantage going into this fight.
Last attribute, ring IQ.
They both have sky-high ring IQs. If I have to, Crawford. If you ask me again, there's a reason that I think Crawford's the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world.
During their in-depth conversation, Rogan emphasized the sheer magnitude of this bout, calling it a collision of two generational talents.
Bring up the first member of our broadcast team. He is the best boxing analyst in the sport. Ladies and gentlemen, Max Kellerman.
All right, so I know you guys are excited about this fight, but I don't think you understand what a big deal it is. This is a perfect storm. First of all, Turki Al-Sheikh, we're lucky he happens to be a boxing fan. None of this happens if he doesn't happen to be a boxing fan. It's just none of us are here. Nick Khan, the best in the business. Dana White is the greatest combat sports promoter of my lifetime. And it's his first ever boxing promotion. So that's who's behind what you're going to see. You know who's the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world? The most recent one. Bud Crawford. Apologies to the monster and Usyk. Bud Crawford has my vote for best pound-for-pound. Who was the best pound-for-pound before Bud? Canelo Alvarez, universally recognized that way. But it's not just these two guys, the last two best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. There haven't been that many. Before Canelo, who do you have? Before Canelo, Floyd or Andre Ward, Floyd Mayweather. Before, you could take the lineage back. There have only been, 25 or 30 fighters who ever lived who you said that's the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. These are two of them, the last two. And they're going to fight in Las Vegas on September 13th. Canelo is 62-2 with 2 draws, 62-2. So was Marvin Hagler when Sugar Ray Leonard moved up to fight him, and they produced one of the biggest spectacles in the history of boxing.
While Kellerman went further, stating that not only does he believe Crawford has the tools to beat Canelo, but he predicts Crawford will actually stop the Mexican superstar late in the fight.
Yeah.
Shoot, what about
get away.
Crawford and Canelo?
What do you think of that?
Personally, I'm a big Crawford fan, so I'm going to lean his way. My only concern is just the size. It didn't look like Terrence's power transferred in the last fight, so now it's coming up some more. You know what I mean?
Part of the problem with that is Majumov is really good.
Yeah,
he's really fucking good.
But I just think Crawford is. It's weird to say against Canelo, but I think he's the better boxer, and I think he's the guy who can make the better in-fight adjustments if Canelo doesn't kill him.
It's going to be interesting, I'll tell you that.
What do you think?
I don't know. It's a big jump to go from 54, which was a step up from 47, right?
Now
so it goes to
going
54, and now he's going to 68. That's so much weight.
A lot of weight.
But Terrence I think he's the best switch hitter since Hagler.
They claim Hagler was my favorite. They claim he's walking around like a $190 or something, and you do know he's a wrestler.
Kellerman broke down his reasoning by pointing to Crawford's adaptability, his ability to switch stances seamlessly, and his uncanny timing that allows him to neutralize aggressive fighters.
Canelo's smart. Absolutely, he's smart. He knows this business as well as anybody. So, no, it's not surprising that Canelo learned from Floyd and has employed some of that in the retention of his career. Canelo still knows how to make fireworks when he absolutely has to make fireworks. But at the end of the day, he's a counterpuncher. He's a great defender. He has the most solid punch resistance of anybody in the sport. Nobody's ever knocked him off balance. Nobody's ever really knocked him down. There's only one official knockdown in his career, and it was because he bounced off the ropes when Jose Cotto hit him with a hard shot to the chest. And the referee employed a strict interpretation of the rules and said, oh, the ropes held you up, so that's a knockdown. He's never been put on his back by anybody. He rides horseback every morning. His legs are the strongest in the sport. You're not going to beat Canelo.
He reminded Rogan and viewers of how Crawford dismantled Errol Spence Jr. with surgical precision.
Maybe he's a little overrated. Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds.
Canelo's really good. Really good. But I think Crawford is special. I know he hasn't fought the resume everyone wants, but you have that or you don't have that ingredient. I think he has it. Canelo's really good. He's tremendous. But could he be a tiny bit overrated? The greatness is within Crawford. It's in his desire. It's in his mind. It's in his makeup, where he came from. I know he's moving up in weight class. Can he carry it? But those intangibles, I believe that he has them.
Arguing that Canelo, despite being the bigger and naturally stronger man, struggles against fighters who use movement, angles, and high boxing IQ.
The notion that Terence Bud Crawford should move up 3 weight classes, 21 pounds, to fight Canelo Alvarez. He's entirely too small. Jamel Charlo already proved that. Y'all remember that scene from Rocky? Remember that scene from Rocky 2? When Carl Weathers was Apollo Creed and his trainer was like, Can I be honest? I saw you beat this man within an inch of his life, and he kept coming. He wouldn't go away. He's wrong for us, baby. He's wrong. Let it go. Paulo couldn't do it and lost fight number 2. Trained him for Rocky 3 and then got killed in Rocky 4 by Drago because he couldn't let it go. Bud Crawford needs to let it go. Too small.
Rogan, known for his deep respect for Canelo's resume and power, countered by praising Alvarez's experience, his granite chin, and his track record against elite competition across 4 divisions, insisting that Crawford will be entering uncharted territory against a man who has beaten bigger, stronger opponents for over a decade.
I just feel like Crawford, he just has the grit, and like me personally meeting Crawford several times, it's like the man is just so competitive. It's like I don't even have to say nothing to him. He'll just like, man, when we sparring, it's like his competitiveness is always gonna put him over the edge, and then he just has that like, I'm not gonna let you bully me, or his skill set. And it, I know they talk about Charlo when Charlo moved up, but I feel like it may be a little bit different for Canelo this time around because Crawford took the moving up in weight classes serious. He did the dieting, he did the training. So I feel like when you put in work like that.
Still, Kellerman stood firm, saying that boxing is about timing and precision, not just size and strength, and Crawford has both in spades.
Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturdays. Some of them be hard. You know what I mean? That's just how it is. You can't replace, I would say like tech sparring and like soft sparring from, a comparison to get ready for a fight. Because you fight how you spar how you fight. And if I'm in there just doing this, catch, then when the fight come and everything is full blast, full speed, I'm not gonna be able to keep up because I didn't train that way.
Right.
I can hit the bag, I can hit the mitts, all that I want, but nothing's coming back.
Right.
I'm not feeling that presence of a person pushing me, hitting me, holding me, things like that. So sparring is very important. And not saying that you have to, go hard every single time you spar, but there got to be days where, that fighter is trying to put it on you.
The prediction shocked many because Kellerman has historically respected Canelo's dominance. Yet his bold claim that Crawford could not only win but actually stop Alvarez is the kind of statement that shakes fans' confidence in the perceived favorite.
Most fans or most people would probably say Crawford, I'm guessing, because that's a big part of how he's won, and everybody feels that and rightfully so, that the way he's figured out, he's constantly changing from lefty to righty. He's a person that alters his attack. Sometimes he's a boxer, sometimes he's walking people down. Canelo's style is more the same in most fights. He is a counterpuncher who's waiting for you to make your move so he can counterpunch you. Then when he has you in trouble, he's willing to move forward. His attack is a pretty straightforward one. On the face of it, you might say Crawford, but I think the thing about Canelo Alvarez is that he has seen every style that you could.
The conversation then turned toward legacy, with Rogan noting that if Crawford were to defeat Canelo, he would leapfrog into the conversation as one of the greatest pound-for-pound fighters of all time, surpassing even legends like Floyd Mayweather in terms of risk-taking and accomplishment across multiple weight classes.
I don't like the fight because Terence Crawford is a good fighter, but in the sport of boxing, it has divisions. You know what I mean?
Right, weight classes.
Right? Yeah, weight classes
for a reason.
Weight classes and Terence Crawford is a good fighter in super lightweight, welterweight, super welterweight, but I think more. I remember when Terence Crawford fought with Madrimov.
Yes.
He looks slow. He looks. With no power and 3 more divisions, two more divisions is, I think it's a top fight for Terence Crawford, but Terence Crawford is a great fighter. He has a great defense. He has a good combination of punches, but I think the weight class is no good for him.
Kellerman agreed, stressing that this fight is not just about titles or money, but about history, and that Crawford's hunger and mentality could be the deciding factors. Rogan also added that Canelo's recent performances, while still dominant, show signs of wear and tear from years of wars inside the ring, suggesting that Crawford's fresher legs and relentless mindset could expose vulnerabilities. The two analysts ultimately agreed that no matter what, this is one of the rare fights where both men have everything to lose and everything to gain. For Canelo, his status as the face of boxing and a possible end to his career if he loses. For Crawford, a chance to make history and cement his legacy forever. With Kellerman's shocking prediction now circulating, the buzz surrounding this fight has intensified even further, leaving fans eagerly waiting to see if Crawford truly can pull off the impossible and prove Max Kellerman right on the grandest stage of all.